Hello everyone, my name is Rafal and I would like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I would like to talk a little bit about working with influencers. And this is a topic which I think is a little bit controversial, and I just want to make sure that I'm going to cover this from the proper angle. And I had the really bad experiences, which I would like to share with you today, but I don't want to put all those influencers into one bucket, because I deeply believe that there are some which are extremely hardworking people and they do amazing job and they do everything to grow your business, to help you with your marketing, and pretty much just bring more clients to your business. But there are some which unfortunately they don't do this job properly. And I just want to talk about it because they're popping up on every corner nowadays, and you can probably notice that there's a lot of them which are approaching photographers and they want to collaborate with them. And I was one of them. For the many years, I was kind of against it for many reasons, but recently I've decided I'm going to take a shot, see what's going to happen. Let's see how this process is going to look like, and then I'm going to learn something from it. Hopefully I'm going to get some business out of this whole collaboration and see where this whole thing is going to take me. So the experience was pretty bad. As I mentioned, I hired someone to do some kind of influencing on my business, but this whole thing just fell apart. And at the end of the day, I got absolutely nothing out of this. I also lost some money because I had to do some free photo shoots, which I'm going to discuss a little bit later. And none of those all crazy promises which were basically said to me did nothing to my business. And I want to use this video and I want to share this because if you're going to be approached at some point by any influencer, you will know what to look for and how to approach this whole situation. And hopefully at the end of the day, you're going to be able to hire someone who will actually do the right job and going to bring you more business to the table, and you're not going to make the same mistakes which I've done. So this is going to be, I think, extremely interesting. So again, I've done like a 10 points which we're going to go through, and those points will definitely help you to make the right decision if some influencer approach you and they want to do any collaboration with you. So the first thing what I want to talk about is you have to make sure this account and whatever they do is real, because a lot of them, they have fake followers, they have fake engagement, and you probably know that there are websites which you can literally purchase followers, engagement, likes, everything. So you have to be extremely cautious, because sometimes all those things look really good on the paper, and whenever you look at this account and you can say, hey, you know what, this is great, they have tons of followers, they have amazing engagement, and it seems like this whole thing works really well. But you have to dive a little bit deeper and make sure that all those followers, all this engagement is real. And it's really easy to spot if this is real and fake, because if you see that, let's say the influencer had, let's say 100,000 followers, but there's no engagement on their social media, that means that probably this whole thing is fake. Also, you can check it, their names of their followers. If there is some weird names and there's, let's say, people who have, let's say, 0 followers, you can automatically realize this whole thing is just made up, is fake, and it's just made to the purpose of impress you. But at the end of the day, this is all just one big BS. The next thing I want to talk about it is lack of disclosure. So what that means is that sometimes those influencers, they promote things which not gonna align with their brand. And I've noticed this on so many different occasions. You probably can see that as well if you go to any different platforms, that they just promote things because someone paying them for saying certain things, and certain services or products, they not really align with their brand. They just making stuff up and they just say, as I said, whatever they have to say just to make this whole thing look real. But at the same time, you really can notice that this whole thing doesn't really fit what they believe, what they're promoting, and what they do with promoting certain companies. So you have to be extremely careful and make sure that your brand and whatever you do is going to be aligning with their brand, whatever they believe in, whatever they do. It has to be some kind of connection that it's going to work well for both of those sides. The next thing I want to talk about is, of course, inauthentic content. Sometimes I've noticed that a lot of influencers, they're promoting themselves, but they're using certain product and services to have a little bit of add-on to whatever they do. And you can really sense that quickly certain posts or certain promotions is evolving around them. They're promoting themselves. They just basically showcase who they are, what they do. And your service or your brand is a little bit of addition to this whole thing. And I think this is really unfair because you supposed to be the star of this promotions, not them. And if you run into that kind of influencer, just run away, because that was my biggest problem. The person was just using me to promote themselves and was nothing to do with helping me to get more clients, to promote my business, to basically highlight what I do. So just be extremely careful. The next thing is, of course, inconsistent branding. And that is also extremely important, because if you see influencer who is promoting everything and nothing, and they basically promote whatever comes their way, that means you're not going to get anything out of it, because their audience is just all over the place. And this was something also which I didn't pay attention to when the influencer I work with approached me, because they've been basically promoting whatever they could. Well, whoever's paying them, that's what they're promoting. And that's why their audience is not the audience I'm looking for. So you have to make sure that if they're going to come in towards you and they want to do any business with you, make sure that they can also target the audience you are interested in. And they have to have specific type of promotions and just working with specific brands, so you're going to be able to fit into this whole thing. The next one is overly demanding. So this is something which I think is a huge problem with most of influencers, because they want to run things based on whatever works for them. And that sometimes is extremely frustrating, because we as a photographers, we also have certain standards. We want to see things specific way. We want to have specific quality. And if you're going to run into the influencer who's going to run their own thing, and they're going to just basically butcher whatever you do or whatever product you have, whatever images you want to showcase, it's not going to help you. It's going to just basically damage your brand. Is going to damage your business. So again, you have to be extremely careful before you get into those type of deals, because if you start feeling that the influencers is taking over and is just telling you exactly what they're going to do and you have nothing to say, this is huge red flag. Also, in my case, what I've learned, I had to also provide some free photo shoots. So the promotion apparently is supposed to be a little bit better, supposed to reach more people. But at the end of the day, I had to do free photo shoot, but I didn't get any paid client. So before you get into any deal and any kind of situations you're going to be working with influencer, make sure that everything is basically written on the paper and you know exactly what you're getting in, so there will be no misunderstanding that all of a sudden you becoming this person who is on the back seat and you have nothing to say. You cannot make any decisions. You cannot really show what you like to show, and the influencer is going to basically do everything what it works for them, not for you. The next one is, of course, something that you also have to be extremely cautious, is poor content quality. So if you see influencer who has really poor quality of their images, whatever they promote the products or services, stay away from them, because it's going to just damage your branding and it's not going to help you. It's going to just basically decrease the value of what you do. And especially for us photographers, when it comes to images, we are extremely picky. So if you want to showcase your best images and the influencer has really poor quality images, you doing them a favor and you're helping them, not other way around. Not to mention they're going to just damage your brand and they're going to damage whatever you do, because you basically decreasing the quality of your work, showcasing your stuff with some poor quality content. The next one is lack of audience relevance. So what that also means, you have to make sure that if you're going to work with specific influencer, make sure you work with the person who can target the audience you going after. So if someone promoting, I don't know, toys for kids, and they start promoting your headshots, what's the chances are that you're gonna get any business out of it? Nobody cares about those type of stuff. So you have to make sure that your influencer you work with, they targeting the right audience, and you can actually target the right people. So hopefully you're gonna get any business out of this. Because if they're going after the people who are not interested in headshot photography, then what's the point even doing this whole collaboration? Because you're not gonna get anything out of this anyways. So it's just you wasting your time, they're wasting the time, and not to mention you losing the money because you have to also invest in this whole thing. The next one is no track record. So if you see influencer who like just started, try to see if those influencers work with photographers before, because if they didn't, that means they have no experience, they didn't do anything like this before. So what's the chances are that you're gonna get anything out of this? And that leads me to the next point, which is lack of knowledge and experience. Because if they never have done campaign for photographer before, that means that they have no idea what they're getting into it. They're gonna be guessing, they're gonna be just try to mislead you, and they're gonna try to make this whole thing look like it's such a big deal. But if they don't understand your audience, they don't understand your business, they don't understand your marketing, what's the chances are they're gonna make this whole thing better and this whole thing's gonna work for you? I've been running into those situations many times that someone with no experience, with no understanding of my industry is trying to tell me what I should do, how this whole thing should work, what it can do for me, and they have those like really false beliefs that some of those things they're going to work, which we already know. We've done this before, we've tried it, and this didn't work. And the last one is the high cost for low ROI. And what that means is that they also charge a lot of money. So before you spend any dollar on them, make sure you're gonna get something out of it, or you're gonna make some money, because they do a lot of fake promises. They're gonna make this whole thing look like it's such a big deal. They're gonna bring you tons of clientele. They're gonna take your business to the next level. But most of the time what happens, in my case, I got absolutely nothing out of this. And now by knowing what I should look for, I should never go into this deal. I should just basically send this person off, because that was red flag after red flag after red flag, and this whole thing shouldn't even work. Let's say that, because this whole thing was just one big mess. And at the end of the day, I've lost a little bit of money. I had to do some couple of free headshot sessions, but the lesson was worth it, because now I know what to look for. I have to basically just make sure that the next time I will check all those boxes to make sure that I know what I'm getting into it. So if any influencer approaches you, make sure to check them out. Make sure you're doing the right deal. You're going to be working with the right person, because this is extremely important. And don't get into the situation where you're going to be losing money, you're going to be frustrated, and you're not going to get anything out of this. So again, I'm not against influencers, but we have to find those ones which are right fit for what we do, and they're going to actually help us with our business, with our marketing, and with our branding. And your business and your marketing and your quality have to align with theirs. So let me know if you have any questions, if you have any experiences working with influencers. I hope you didn't have to go through the same mess what I had to go through, but at least we all can learn from it, and now we're going to make the right decision. So I hope that was interesting. Stay tuned, and I'll chat with you guys very soon. Bye bye.